I have an easy salmon patty recipe for you and a delicious sauce that, oh my gosh, y'all, 2 ingredients and it goes perfectly with these salmon patties. And I've got 2 ways that you can serve these salmon patties. So that's all coming up on the Last Minute Cook. Hi, I'm Deborah. You're watching the Last Minute Cook, where I share delicious recipes that are quick so that you can make dinner at the last minute and feel good about what you're serving. If you're new here, consider subscribing and don't forget to tick that little bell to be notified of my new episodes as they're posted. Also, reach down into the comments below, reach out to me, ask questions, and I would love to hear from you. So don't forget to do that. And today I am starting with an easy salmon patty recipe. My husband does not like them to be called salmon patties. We prefer salmon croquettes, but they're salmon patties. So I've got 2 ways that I'm going to show you what you can do with these. And this is the shortcut of shortcuts, because I've taken salmon patties and done them as quickly and simply as possible. And by doing that, it is a delicious flavor. So all we're using is about 30 ounces of drained canned salmon. This is a pink salmon to drain the can. I've got a couple of eggs, and we're gonna be using some sour cream and some breadcrumbs. So that's it for the ingredients, but I'm also gonna show you a side sauce that is delicious to serve them with. And don't forget, I've got a second way that you need to stay and watch of how we eat these salmon patties. Fun twist on salmon patties. That's coming up, so stay tuned. All right, so throw all of this, the 30 ounces of your salmon into, now ours is a family of 5, so I use 30 ounces of salmon. You can cut this recipe in half if you want to, but it really is great to just make a whole bunch of them and be able to eat on them throughout the week. So there's your 30 ounces of salmon. I'm throwing in 2 eggs. And if you want to make this a 1-pot meal and less dishes, you can just throw everything directly in here. I like to put the eggs, crack them in a separate container so I can fish out the eggshell if we have a little mistake. But 2 eggs, your salmon. Then I'm going to throw in a large scoop of sour cream. That, let's see, I'm going to guess this is about a 1/4 cup or so. It's 2 big old scoops of sour cream that I throw in. So this is great to keep them moist so they don't dry out as you use them for leftovers. They keep their moisture. It just adds kind of a creaminess to them. There are other things you can use besides sour cream, but of all the ways that I've made salmon patties over the years, this sour cream has made the difference. All of my family gobbles them up, even the kids. They just get so excited when I make these. About a cup of breadcrumbs. I'm using plain breadcrumbs. You can also use the Italian herbs breadcrumbs if that's what you have on hand. Use whatever breadcrumbs you've got. It'll add just a little bit of a different flavor to it, but they're perfectly good that way. And then we just want to let that mix for a minute. It doesn't take long. I like to use my KitchenAid. It keeps my hands out of everything and everything blends nice and consistently together. That's it. Once this is all mixed, you just grab with clean hands, a little bit larger than like you do with the meatballs. If you haven't seen my smothered meatballs recipe, check that out. Speaking of meatballs, but these you can make any size that you like. I like to make them go as far as possible when we're having these as our main meal. You just kind of make a hamburger kind of shape patty out of it and just give it a little bit of firm pressure. And this is about as large as I like to go. Sometimes I'll even go about half that size. So we want to make them whatever size you go with, about the same size, so that when you're frying them up, they cook kind of evenly and consistently. The breadcrumbs and the eggs are important because it kind of binds it all together, and the breadcrumbs are wonderful because when we're cooking them, it absorbs the flavors from the oil and gives it that nice kind of fried taste. So, but you can see that they're not too super moist, they're not falling apart, and they're kind of holding their shape as I'm shaping them. So as I'm forming these, I realized the very first one I showed you was kind of flat. It was large, about this shape and flat. What I did not point out is you want to actually have a more compact. This is compact and thicker. It is hardier and it will withstand the frying. So that's important. If they're thin like this, it's going to be a harder time when we're doing step 2 here. So go from this to a more just kind of compact. You can take that exact same size and just make sure it's a little bit thicker. And I just squish the edges around like that. You can use the plate, just kind of roll it and push and roll, or you can use your hand to just kind of roll it together. That way, it's a little bit thicker, it's more compact, and it's gonna be sturdier for you while we've got it in the skillet. These are so fun to make in large batches because once they're made, oh, you can just eat on them all week long. And this step that I'm doing right now is really the longest part, just forming them. But then you're done. You've got all of it. And you could even probably form them and I guess freeze them before frying them. So you just have them to pull straight from the freezer. Maybe put some wax paper between them so they don't stick together as they freeze. Okay, once we have formed our salmon patties, we are going to get a plate with a paper towel set aside, ready to go. It's never fun to chase that when you've got hot oil going, so get that ready first. And then I just use a vegetable or canola oil, but just make sure the bottom of your pan is coated with the oil. And then we want to bring this to a medium-high temperature. So we're going to wait. While we are waiting for our oil to heat up, let's get the sauce made. So now if you're serving the salmon patties, just as the patty with the sauce on the side, which is so good to have something to dip them in. I came up with this sauce when I was just looking for something in the pantry to serve, and we were all kind of wanting something kind of tzatziki feel, just kind of Mediterranean, and sour cream and capers are like 2 of my most favorite ingredients to use in almost everything. So let's just throw them together and see what happens. And this is what happened. It's delicious. So just get some, however much sour cream you want to use for your dip. And remember, whatever you use, of course you can store it in your Tupperware, in your fridge, and it'll keep. So if you make too much, you'll have it to use throughout the week on your leftovers. But throw in some good amount of sour cream right into like a little mini processor like this one, because it's just a lot easier to blend it all up together. Then capers, because capers. So, and one of the reasons I buy them in the large quantities, when I can only find them in the tiny little sizes, I want to show you, but sometimes you can only find them in the tiny little jars. I buy like 3 or 4 at a time. And like a good scoop like that. That's like a tablespoon and a half or so of capers. So, and then I get a little bit of the liquid in there and just blend these together. Voila. Look at this. And it's pretty even. It tastes good and it looks great. It's such a great sauce to serve on the side of these salmon patties or salmon croquettes. Look, you guys. Oh. Okay, now let's get to frying up our salmon patties. Once the oil is at a medium-high temperature, and you can test it by, putting a little crumb of something in there, and if it sizzles pretty quickly, then we're ready. And if you have tongs, it'll be easier to use. I'll show you that in a minute. Mine happen to be in our motorhome kitchen right now, so I'm going to work with what I've got. But getting them in there, you can just put them right in gently. Don't want to splash. This is hot oil. Get them in there gently. We don't want to crowd them. So we'll do these in 2 batches for the amount that I've made here. If you make more or you have a smaller pan, do as many batches as you need so that you can get them in there. They can fry evenly all around, and so they're not super crowded. Adding oil as you need, because you will see the salmon patties will soak up the oil. So as it starts to draw down, you might need to add some more, and that also can help cool it off a little bit too if needed. So this is a nice sizzle temperature that we've got, and I'm going to fry these up. We're going to go maybe 2 minutes or so on each side. If you have a splatter screen like this one, it's good to have just in case your oil starts popping a little bit. It's nice to keep it there. This one doesn't quite fit my pan. You want one that's large enough to fit your pan that you can rest it there. I'm working with what I got. I've got my kitchen items split up between our home kitchen here and our motorhome kitchen. If you don't have tongs, you can use spoons. I like to check them, and you start to see the edges are turning a little bit golden. Yep, like that. That's what we want. You want that nice golden color, and then we'll just gently flip them over. You can see the edges turning that golden brown, then we're ready to go. Just gently flip that. This is about 2 minutes on the first side. And see, since we made them nice and kind of thick and hearty, they're not falling apart while we're trying to flip them. They're nice and compact. So that's important when you're forming those salmon patties, to make sure that they're not flimsy and thin. Okay, so we're gonna go about another minute on this side, and we'll get batch number 2 in there, and we'll see if we need to add some oil. Now, see, this color is not quite what we're wanting yet. So when we flipped them, it kind of cooled down the oil a little bit. So I'm gonna put it right back and let it go a little bit longer. We're looking more for this darker, more golden, more evenly fried look. That's good. That's perfect. So we're gonna get these off right onto a paper towel to absorb that oil. Now we wanna add a little bit more of our oil because so much of it absorbed into that first round. This is the part that requires a little bit of patience, because it really is, they're much better to let them get to this nice golden yellow, kind of brown, crispy outside, kind of tender inside. It's worth it. It's just a few minutes of standing over the stove to do this though. There are so many recipes out there for working with salmon patties, but I love how simple, how few ingredients it takes to just get the great flavor of the salmon and to fry these up. It just, a few ingredients, you just don't need a lot. I used to make these also with like a lot of parsley, and I found that made them a little bit of bitter actually. So just narrowing it down, taking out ingredients and getting down to these 4 has been my family's favorite, and that's easier on me. It's a far less work. So if they like it better and it's easier on me, that's a winner. All right, then just get all these out onto your paper towel on your plate. I just stack them right on top of each other. They do fine. And it helps the ones underneath that came out first stay warm. So that's always good. We have an entire plate of these salmon patties, crispy on the outside. They smell so good. Okay, and we also made our sauce, but there's more to it. One way my kids love, and my husband and I love to eat these. First, let's check it. Look at this. I'm gonna try it, and I wanna show y'all this little bit of sauce before I show you the next way to serve it. This is, again, that sour cream with the capers just blended together. You need to be hungry when you make these, because you're gonna wanna eat the whole thing all in one setting. These are so good. Okay, so when you have them and you want a different way to serve them because they're just that good and you wanna keep eating them, but you're like, I can't keep serving my family the same salmon patties, but they taste so good. Here's another way you can serve them. You have cooked yourself some spaghetti, toss a little bit of olive oil in it to keep it from sticking, and also because you need to toss spaghetti in olive oil. You're going to crumble bits of this salmon right onto it. A delicious way of eating spaghetti. If you haven't seen my tuna spaghetti, make sure and check that out. That's a different version of spaghetti also. That is so good, and it's a great way to serve tuna. But this salmon, it's like fried salmon on spaghetti pasta. It is so good. A little bit of shaved Parmesan, sprinkle salt or pepper to taste, and you have a spaghetti dinner for your family using the salmon patties, and y'all, they go so well together. This is so good. So this is 2 really fun ways to serve this salmon, and you've got the sauce, so you can just take this to a whole new level, plus I've shown you how you can do it in just with 4 ingredients. These are moist on the inside and crispy on the outside. It's so good. If you make these, I want to hear about it. Let me know. Reach out in the comments. If you haven't subscribed, don't forget to do that right now. So glad you watched. Thank you, and buon appetito. We'll see you next time.